our denomination has endured, culminating in a historic general conference, many are asking, who are we now? What does the future look like? The Foundation Board of Directors and staff stand with you in facing the future, taking on those questions with courage and conviction. Together, along with the leading of God's Spirit, we will be a witness to the world of God's love and grace. Since we last met in this place, the Foundation engaged in a strategic visioning process that culminated in a set of goals, strategies, and action items that will enable the Foundation to respond to our new realities. These are more than words on a page. Guided by the feedback you gave us through listening groups, your team is expanding its efforts around stewardship education, leadership training for lay people in the church, and professional development for clergy in the middle and later stages of their careers. All this in addition to our existing portfolio of ministry offerings. With your trust and by allowing us to be in partnership with you, we'll continue to serve as a steadying influence long into the future. One of the many factors behind our ability to do all this is committed leaders who serve on our board. With this in mind, I now present to you the following board members for the election of the class of 2027. Ann Martin, Brad Chapman, Jennifer Davis, Will Rucker, and Matt Sink. If you approve of this class, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Abstain? Thank you. The class of 2027 is elected. In addition, Dr. Irish Spencer will join our board, filling a vacancy in the class of 2025. Dr. Spencer has served in an ex officio capacity with the board through her role as chair of Council on Finance and Administration. We look forward to her continued support in this new capacity. In addition to celebrating our newest board members, I also want to celebrate the ministry of Rob Bird, who passed away unexpectedly in October of 2023. Rob, a member of Myers Park United Methodist Church, began his volunteer ministry at the Foundation in 2002 when he joined our investment team. Over the years, he assumed various positions in leadership. He was the financial practices team leader, he was a member of the executive team, and the Foundation's corporate treasurer. Rob's day job as a CPA and partner at Grant Thornton made him a perfect fit for the accounting and financial management of the Foundation. During his tenure, the Foundation experienced great growth and financial independence. For his commitment, we will be forever grateful. Rob's family chose memorial gifts to be directed to the Foundation's ministry fund, which supports people, ministries, and organizations in the Western North Carolina Conference. A big thank you to Shirley and his girls for helping Rob's legacy continue through the support of this fund. Now I'm pleased to invite to the podium Reverend David Snipes, President and CEO of the Foundation. David is making his 23rd consecutive presentation at this annual conference.
Thank you, Ann, and thank you, Bishop Carter and lay and clergy delegates to annual conference who have worked so tirelessly to help make this a place and a time when we can come together and do the business of the church. It's always an honor and a pleasure to work with the fine folks, staff and board alike of the United Methodist Foundation. Their goal, their purpose is to help you and your churches, your ministries, to be the best steward of the resources that you have been given. For some, that might mean that you're going to fine-tune some of your leadership talents and skills, and for others, it might mean that you need to hone in on some good financial stewardship so that money or ministry can be funded in perpetuity. Either way, all in all, It means that we are more fully living in to who we are as children of God and corporately as the body of Christ. So some of the folks that serve on our board and on our staff are here today. Many are, if they woke up in time, are watching via live stream. But I want you to please help me thank them for the ministry that they do for you right now. So Ann just mentioned that this was the 23rd time that I had given a report to annual conference. Back then I had hair and it was a different color. But what I want you to know is that as I stand here before you today giving this report, it's the first time that I offer this report as Poppy, the grandfather to Emma Grace Hampton. So why do I say that? Am I being a proud grandparent or am I being braggadocious? Yeah, that shoe may fit. Or as Jennifer Davis says, that dog will hunt, right? But actually, the reason I'm sharing it with you beyond all that is if you were here yesterday when we recognized the ordinands and the folks retiring, Bishop Carter made a statement that's very prophetic. Do you remember doing that?
Is the one about death?
Yeah, it was about a healthy church is a multi-generational church.
Amen.
So I call attention to a 4-month-old infant named Emma Grace Hampton. I call attention to Nathaniel Posey, who was here yesterday at opening worship. Amen. I call attention to young adult delegate Ashley Hand. All of these folks represent not only the now, but also the future of our United Methodist Church, yes. But here's what I want you to hear. What we do, and maybe more importantly, what we do not do. Now, hear those words, think about them. What we do, and maybe more importantly, what we do not do, is of great importance, not only for now, but especially in the future. So I want you to know that as a United Methodist Foundation, we will do everything that we can possibly do within our means, within our calling, to help ensure that the United Methodist Church is here to minister to a world that needs so badly to experience the love and the grace and the forgiveness of Jesus Christ. Some of the ways that we do that right now are done through a series of ministry offerings, as we call them, products for some companies. The UMF Development Fund, it continues to welcome new investors. The rate is now one of the highest it's been since the inception of the program at 4.5%. And your deposits go out into the world to help ministries grow. We often call this United Methodists helping United Methodists, or doing good while doing well. Or consider the approximately $2 million in grant monies that have gone out since the beginning of the year to support mission and ministry and to empower the next generation of leaders. Or if you are retired, back during Holy Week, you received, or 929 clergy to be exact, families, received approximately $163,000. This fund expresses, in a financial way, gratitude for Western North Carolina Conference retired clergy and for their years of service. Many of you are involved in the UMF Investment Fund program, which is comprised of fund options, all of which are invested in socially responsible ways, offer competitive fees, and consistently outperform their peer group. We have had so many people stop by our ministry tent, located right over here, and say, we could not have done what we've done without the growth in our endowment monies and our other monies for ministry, and we are so pleased to be a part of that. But the last program that I want to call to your attention is one that's very special to me. It is the Reynolds Program in Church Leadership. It's a signature foundation offering that helps clergy make fuller use of their gifts and graces for ministry. Created 25 years ago and offered to clergy in 5 different conferences throughout the Southeastern jurisdiction, this program has helped many avoid burnout and conquer hopelessness. For others, it prompted a mindset shift that enabled healthier relationships with colleagues and loved ones alike. For all participants, it has helped gain a sense of new direction and passion for the ministries to which they have been called. It goes without saying, we are grateful, so grateful, to Royce and Jane Reynolds for their vision and generosity that makes this program possible. Throughout the summer, we will share with you stories of clergy whose ministries have been positively influenced by this program. Yet this morning, I invite you to hear reflections of 2 colleagues who have been instrumental in the creation and implementation of the program. Reverend Tom Latimer, who is a board member and the Reynolds Ministries team leader, and Reverend Janice Virtue, program guide.
"25 years ago, many saw the need for pastors to learn to be organizational leaders. They were already good preachers, they're already fine theologians raising up laity to be faithful, but running a small business, running a church, they didn't have any education, any training for that.
Royce had a passion for clergy leadership, and he was convinced, particularly out of his experiences with the automotive industry, he felt like there were principles of leadership in his business that could apply to church life and to pastoral leadership. So he took that seed of an idea and the passion behind it and began to talk to folks.
This year-long program has now been going for 25 years, helping clergy be the best leaders they can be for our congregations.
The Reynolds Ministries are a part of that bigger picture of gratitude that enables the United Methodist Foundation to give back resources that can go to further multiply ministry in exponential ways.
We had no idea about the rise of the internet and social media, polarization that our pastors would every day be facing, let alone things like a global pandemic that shut us down. And it makes me ever more grateful that for 25 years we've been trying to help pastors remember the fundamentals of what it means to lead.
Royce would continue to challenge us and say, what's the next generation? What's the next iteration of Reynolds Ministry going to look like? Be planning for the next opportunity and the next thing that the church may need.
But as long as we see pastors willing to change, willing to learn, and celebrating that they are learning and changing, I think we could go on for a very long time.
Thanks to wise leadership, careful counsel, and a commitment to being faithful stewards, the Foundation's managed investments produced strong returns in 2023 to help our partners do what they do best. When we do well, you do well, and vice versa. For instance, in 2023, we were able to provide to the conference an additional $21,000 beyond what was budgeted. So Bishop Carter, we are pleased to share with you that this year's tithe is $201,000. In addition, the Board of Directors has designated $36,000 from our excess operating cash to support your bishop's initiatives, thus bringing the total to $237,000.
just a word of profound thanks to Ann and to David and to the foundation. I was in that first Reynolds leadership class 25 years ago. I was a pastor, and throughout my life I've been blessed by the foundation. These gifts have funded work we have done with many of our churches that are at the center of towns and cities across these 44 counties. They are now a huge part of funding, along with last year's conference offering, the work we are beginning to do on responses to trauma across communities, across ethnic persons, and in our lay and clergy spiritual leaders. And so I just want to say on behalf of you, thank you.